and welcome back to another quick cup of tea and some biscuits chat about film firearms. You have to forgive me, I'm a little bit gaspy because we've had some extended days and I've managed to get a lung infection, which has left me a little bit breathless and beaten up. So the job that we've been working on is really interesting, and it raised the typical question that I always find fascinating, because I always wonder where it comes from. Where does the question come from? What makes you so adamant that you're absolutely right? And then I gave my reply, like some sort of genius that I am, and I should have read the massive fan page, which would have proven me slightly wrong. Anyway, so the question was, what gun does Hercule Poirot carry on a day-to-day basis and care about? And I said, of course, it's really simple. It can only be a that's Hercule Poirot all over. Fastidious, Belgian, socialite, erudite, multilinguist, polymath, gentleman detective, would always carry a and well, that got shot down in flames because I was told he carries a Mauser 1914 in 6.35 or a Beretta Model 34 in a similar sort of size caliber. These are small palm-sized guns. And I just went, no, the Mauser is really ugly. It's really fat and wide, has a horrible wooden grip. It's really ugly in its design. No, that's not Hercule Poirot. And the Beretta, oh my God, it's worse. Why on earth? And that's, of course, when they went, but there's a massive fan page all about Hercule Poirot and all of the guns that he, blah, 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 are used in the TV show. And those are the ones that they wanted. So I had to stand there for a minute and go, we'll have to go and buy some. And then I went, well, buy some more film guns. Brilliant. And we completed that particular sequence. And then I thought I should really put my case forward, and I should really put it out to everyone else to have an opinion, because would Hercule Poirot carry an ugly gun? And my answer is absolutely not. You know, he's fussy about his moustache, his attire, his cane, his shoes. Everything about Poirot says it's got to be pretty and functional. So why on earth would he choose something that's just hideous? I didn't even bring it to the office today because it's horrible. So then someone else chipped up and said, well, what do you think he would carry? And I said, it's this one. And they went, no. And then we had the whole argument that went around the houses, and we narrowed it down to 4 potential firearms. The first one, everyone's favorite, the Colt 1911. It's of the era. This obviously is a film and TV gun, so just to make sure, no magazine is in it, nothing in the chamber. It is not a real gun. It is designed for film and TV. We tend to use a lot of these. They look very realistic, and they're great in that respect. So what makes this so unique? Well, as a design icon, it is very clever. With the hammer's back, you would think the gun would fire, but it does not, because it has a design safety feature built into it for 1911, which was pretty advanced, which is press the grip safety down with the web of your palm and actuate the trigger, and it fires. But it does mean that if you see a gun like this in film and TV, and then the hammer is forwards, it cannot fire. So this is a little technical thing that you can now keep an eye out for and go, oh my God, it's one of those. And it cannot fire when it is like this. So that then comes to my immediate pet hate, which is a firearm is presented in film and TV. And what is the first thing that the operator, person, hero, villain does? They rack around into the chamber. It sounds horrific. The sound department will be screaming and making too much noise. And then the action can take place. The grip safety is actuated by the web of your hand, as I said, and then the gun can fire. And it would cycle, and cases would fall out, or whatever is required. But it is physically massive. Why would Poirot carry something that would drag him, his clothing, so horrifically down to one side? Yes, it is an impressive size, but it is not for Poirot. Interestingly enough, Winston Churchill carried a 1911 with him when he was in Normandy for different visits, which is quite unusual to have a Prime Minister casually carrying around his own method of self-protection. So then folks said, well, he would have probably carried a baby Browning, which is a very small pocket pistol, and they come in different versions, and they're also made by European manufacturers. They get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I sort of said, well, yeah, but, you know, Hercule Poirot, these things are tiny. How can you command any respect? He's already a little bit effete and a little bit, ever so. How are you going to command any respect of the villain that you've now confronted with something that is about the size of an average person's palm? I mean, they probably wouldn't even see it if that is in your hand. And worse, it would be horrible to shoot because you can only really get one finger onto the grip. The rest would fall off it. Because it is physically a small gun, even though it is a small caliber, the recoil would be quite violent. It would be horrible to shoot. Same with its slightly bigger version, the Browning. Still has a grip safety, which is very clever, but you know, it is not going to be a comfortable firearm to discharge. So therefore, my choice for Hercule Poirot, and you know, by all means, as I said, comment down below, it's the Walther PPK. Why? It is incredibly flush, narrow, there's no sticky outy bits. It covers both bases, that it is comfortable to shoot, you can get most of your fingers on it. Poirot, smaller gent, so that would be a good gun for him to have. Some of the magazines have little spurs, so it's a very good sound grip. It has some quite cool safety features, a nice easy to access safety. And from a director's point of view and a DOP's point of view, you can do things with it. Say, mon ami, I have caught you doing all this bad stuff and you're going to the big house. And when they don't want to go, you go, I think you'll find you will now follow me. Obviously, that's probably not how Poirot talks, and that's racial stereotyping, which we shouldn't really do. But the key thing is, Walther PPK, beautiful design, iconic, of that era, and not yucky, ugly Mauser, Padams, Berettas, whatever. I mean, there was a whole lot of other stuff. They all kind of follow the pattern, and they're either ugly or pretty. And I tend to think that Poirot was more likely to be someone who would care and carry something that kind of was part of his kind of social makeup, and follow more into that ilk. So if you think I'm right or wrong, by all means, as I said, like and subscribe and drop a comment down. If you've read the fan page about the whole Poirot stuff, oh my God, well done to you. That's a lifetime's challenge already. And then we'll put some more posts up of bits and pieces as we find them, because obviously now I need to go out and buy some Webley revolvers, some CZs, some Berettas, which take our rental stock to the very beginning of the 20th century. Stuff that I have kind of discounted and didn't really want, so we can then have the fuller range going all the way across the 20th century, and we will remain kind of more within the military, bad guy, good guy type of scenario of film firearms. So again, thank you very much for watching. Hope the cup of tea was good. Stay out of the sun, it's a little bit hot out there, and have a good week. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.